What's good, everybody? It's the GOAT Aaron Brown, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'll be talking about how Sydney McLaughlin-LeVrone is single-handedly ruining the sport of track and field. And I want to start off by saying I like Sydney McLaughlin a lot. I've been watching her since she was in college at Kentucky. I think her first year at Kentucky, which was her only year at Kentucky, that was like my first year ever running track. I know she made the Olympics at 16 years old, so she's like one of the most talented runners we ever seen of all time. She has the potential to be the biggest star in track and field, and she just doesn't capitalize on that. She has the look, she has the talent, and from her years at Kentucky or her year at Kentucky, she had the personality. It somehow slipped away, but she's the total package, but she just doesn't capitalize off of it. Recently, I seen Sydney McLaughlin do a interview where she mentioned that track and field needs to market themselves better. The athletes need to market themselves better. She feel like track and field athletes should be getting paid what NFL and NBA players are making. And I had a problem with that statement because if you think about it, Sydney McLaughlin, she's a 400-meter hurdler. Before she just ran like 2 weeks ago, she hadn't ran the 400 hurdles in 2 years. So for her to even do an interview to say that she feels like they should get paid the same amount as NBA players is a crazy ass statement. The NBA season is an 82-game season. Track runners don't work nearly as hard as NBA players, so why would you get paid equally? If your ass run one race every 3 years versus somebody playing 82 games every single year, and even if they do sit out some games, they're playing 70 plus games a year, who do you think should get paid more? And the more often we see you, the more familiar people become with you. So LeBron James or Kyrie Irving, we see them play 2-3 times a week. If your ass run one time every 2 years, who the hell is gonna even know you? The only people that's gonna know you is people who follow the sport super close. And this is a hard ass sport to even follow super close because the meets be on these locked ass websites, back page websites where you got to pay $60 for somebody who you don't even know if they gonna run or not. Sydney has entered into so many meets over the last 2-3 years, and she done damn near pulled out of every single meet. So I will be pissed if I go pay for a track meet to see Sydney run, and then 15 minutes before the race, they say, oh, Sydney decided to pull out of the track meet like she always do. Like nowadays, it's more surprising to see Sydney run. To see Sydney run than see her not run. And I like Sydney. I think she's really good. But unfortunately, she's competing in a non-competitive event. In an entire history of the 400-meter hurdles on the women's side, there has only been 3 good 400-meter hurdlers. And that's Sydney, Dalilah Muhammad, and Femke Bowl. Everybody else who have competed in the 400-meter hurdles were trash. 53 seconds, 54 seconds. Sydney, Dalilah, and Femke, they're the only 3 in the history of this event to push the needle. See, the men 400 hurdles, it's a developed event. People been running fast in it for a long time. You had Edwin Moses back in the day, like, I don't know if he was in the 80s or the 90s or 60s or something. He ran 47.0. Kevin Young, Rod Benjamin, Karsten Warholm, Allison Dos Santos, Kyron McMaster, all these guys running 46, 47 low. Angelo Taylor, James Carter, Karan Clement, Brashawn Jackson. Shit, Felix Sanchez. Saying all that to say that pretty much the women, that event is trash. Like no one competes in the 400 hurdles. But the men, it's a really developed event. You have like great sprinters who do hurdles, and that's why the times are so much faster on the men's side versus the women, where we only had 3 good 400-meter hurdlers ever. And they've all been like in the last 5 years. But yeah, with Sydney's name being so big in the sport and her never running, that's killing the sport. Like imagine watching the NBA and Giannis, Jokic, LeBron James only played 1 game every 2 years. Those teams gonna lose their fan bases. And they get paid too much to be sitting out that much. Sydney McLaughlin is one of the top paid track athletes of all time. And she gets paid too much to be sitting out. And I often say this, and people always come with, oh, well, she can do what she want to do. Granted, she can, but this is the only sport where the top athletes get paid the most money and do the least amount of performing. Like, they pay you great money for awesome performances. They pay you a lot because people want to see you. But I want to dive more into like the Femke Bowl and like the Sydney comparisons and things of that nature because they really aren't that far off. If you take like the top, these are Femke Bowl like top marks. If you take her top 5 marks and do the average of Femke Bowl's top times is 51.8. And in the last season, she's ran 51 3 times, which goes to show that she's just treading in the right direction. Like 2022, she was running low 52s. Then she finally broke that mark in 2023 where she ran 51.9, 51.7, then 51.5. 51.45. And people often try to make it seem like Sydney is just way better than Femke. But if you being honest, Sydney only ran faster than Femke Bowles PR like 1 time. I think Sydney's second fastest time is like 51.41 or 42 or something like that. So it's damn near the same. Sydney has ran more 51s, but she's been pro longer. And she was being pushed by Dalilah Muhammad like her whole career. So of course she's gonna have faster times. But I think it's not as far off as people try to make it seem. Like, these are Sydney top 5 marks. Well, these are her top marks. And the average of her top times is 51.3. And if you see that, if you take that 50.6 away, she's only ran faster than Femke technically 1 time. And that's like a photo finish with that 51.41. So while I think Sydney is like more talented than Femke, when it comes to the hurdles, she's not just like way better than Femke Bowl. Because on average, they both average 51 seconds. And Sydney just been doing it at a higher level for longer. So just like when she first came in the game and Dalilah Muhammad was the one running the game, I think Femke Bowl is going to be the one to dethrone Sydney. I don't think she'll do it like no time soon, but on Sydney way out, like Femke Bowl is going to be that one, just how Sydney was with Dalilah Muhammad. But like I was saying, bro, I really want to see Sydney do really well, but hell, she never fucking runs. So she damn near make it hard for a fan of her to even be a fan of her and to root for her. Like, if I'm a LeBron fan and there's 82 games in the season and he only plays 3 games in a year, I'm going to be like, fuck LeBron. I'm going to go choose a whole new team and start cheering for another person. So if I decide to go cheer for Femke Bowl, nobody can be mad like, oh, well, it's fuck Sydney. I'm cheering for Femke now because Femke actually runs. She didn't get all the money and just stop running. She got all the money and started running more, trying to capture that audience. Like, if Sydney ran more and put herself out there more, she would be the biggest person track and field has ever seen. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure she'll never do that. But I hope to see her do really good this year in Paris at the Olympics if she make the team, and see her do really good at the Diamond League final if she decides to go run at that, which more than likely she won't. And just overall, just see her run more. Because we all love Sydney, and we would just love to see her go perform more.